Welcome back to another grief-inspired video. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's very personal to me. It's a lot about my personal situation of things that are happening today in my life, but relate very much back to the time when I was deepest in grief. So I'm hoping that my story here will help all of you understand or at least relate to what I'm discussing. So I've been away on vacation, and I don't know if you've seen my last video, but I was in Northern California and had a great time away. The challenge with being away for me is coming back, and the work has piled up. There are things that I still need to do. I'm actually traveling today, so I need to get to the airport. I had a course yesterday that I needed to participate in, and it reminded me of all the other things that I needed to do. I took my son to his dad's, so I was sort of without him, and that's always a trigger for me. I love spending time with him, and I love having my free time as well to be able to do what I need to do. But him not being with me is really a trigger because I miss him, and it reminds me of missing my baby. So anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is that I got overwhelmed yesterday, and anxiety is such a big part of my life. It's been such a big part of my grief process, and that feeling of being out of control and feeling overwhelmed is something that I live with. I don't want to say daily, but sometimes it is daily, and there's times when it gets worse. Yesterday was one of those days, and I was reminded in talking to another client about how this can happen in grief, and that there are triggers that can happen, things that will happen that maybe you're not aware of, that you weren't expecting. And with the advent of Facebook, Facebook is wonderful because it shares memories with you. But when you've lost someone and then the Facebook memory pops up, it's a trigger. And it can be hard to deal with. And it reminds you of a lot of different things about the person that you've lost. And it makes you miss them more. And what it can do, and what oftentimes would happen to me, is I would spiral down. And I would feel like I was out of control and like it was too much and that I couldn't handle it. And what was hard about it, even today for me, is I feel like I've done so much work and I've gotten so much better and I have all the tools. But there are times when anxiety and overwhelm takes over, just like when I was grieving, and you feel like any progress that you've made is, you've lost it. And for me, I start beating myself up and I say, what are you doing? You're having a pity party here for yourself. Like, you're so out of control, and how do I fix this? And, for me, the anxiety makes me feel a little bit like I'm going crazy. Like I can't handle it all. Like there's so much overwhelm. And I was very fortunate to have a friend who I can call when I spiral down, and she's very good at reminding me of who I am and what I know. And part of it is sitting in the pain of it and saying, okay, today is an out of control day, and today is hard, and I need to just ride this out, that it will pass, and that it's okay just to cry. And it's okay to fall apart. And if you fall apart one day or one evening or one week, that doesn't necessarily have to define everything about you. And it doesn't mean you're going to be that way forever. So she was very helpful in reminding me who I am, reminding me of the tools that I have, and the things that we have available to us. So for me, she sent me a meditation video and something for me to listen to and to reset my head. And then I also just took time to take care of myself and say, okay, well, today's going to be a non-productive day. I'm going to do what I can. And then I'm going to go to bed, and then tomorrow will be another day. And so sometimes it's hard to keep going. It's hard to keep going through grief. It's hard to keep going just in life in general. But particularly now, if you are deep in grief, it can be really hard. And I want to share with you that these breakdowns are a part of our life. It's a part of the process. And I think that what our takeaway from it can be is that when all these triggers happen and we spiral down and we start to beat ourselves up about, what we should be doing or how we should be feeling or we should be better by now, the reality is that those shoulds, they don't help us. But what does help is being gentle with ourselves, taking care of yourself, doing what I call massive self-care, whatever that means, and really just cutting yourself a break and loving yourself a little bit and saying, just because today isn't a great day or I did something that maybe I'm not proud of, that doesn't mean that it's over for you. It doesn't mean it defines who you are. And so we can reset and we can start the day again, and we can learn from what we're feeling and what we're experiencing, and we can shift our perspective. So when we get really down, so for me, like I said, I did the meditation video, I did my gratitude journal today. I just reset and said, what do I know? Who am I? And I have a book of the things that I want to remember, right? So I go to my tools, whatever those happen to be, and I remind myself who I am and how far I've come, and that it's a journey, and the journey doesn't end. It keeps going. So if you're having a hard day today, please be gentle with yourself. Please take time to do whatever it is that makes you feel a little bit better. Maybe it's going for a run. Maybe it's vegging out on the TV, watching Netflix or Lifetime movies. Whatever it is, give yourself some time. Give yourself some patience. And know that tomorrow will be another day. Do what you can today. And then know that this is a wave that you're going to ride, and it's going to get better. So I'm reminded of that today. I'm feeling much better today, which is why I wanted to share this video. And I just want to say, let's just stay on this journey together. And tell me if you like this video. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I love answering your questions, and it really helps me to help other people when you ask questions. So the more questions you can ask me, I think the better for all of us, because I think the reason why we're all here and the reason why we grieve the people that we love is because that connection is so important to all of us. And we need to be able to know that we're not alone in this, and that there are other people who feel the way we feel, and there are other people who experience what we experience, and together we can get through it. So that's the message for today. Be strong and take care of yourself, because that's what's important. And you can make a difference in the world, and you can make a difference in your life, one step at a time. Have a great day today.